What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so in this video, I want to talk about the Houston Rockets. All right, right now the Houston Rockets are what, fifth? I think fourth or fifth in the Western Conference. Lakers number one, of course. I think Denver's number two. The Clippers are number three. Uh, I think the Rockets are fourth or fifth right now. And as we enter the second half of basketball for the season, there's a lot of focus right now on who's going to make the playoffs and who's going to be successful in the playoffs and ultimately make it to the NBA Finals. Now, I think the three top teams, as far as best chance of going to the finals, are the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Bucks. The Bucks out of the Eastern Conference. Philly has an outside shot, but Philly's problem is that they can't win on the road. And in the West, it's going to be down to the Lakers and the Clippers. Now, the Clippers recently acquired Reggie Jackson in the buyout, and they still have a roster spot open. So the Clippers are making moves for this season to win right now. And, the Rockets, before the trade deadline, they traded Clint Capella in an effort to get small. And they're playing small ball right now. And it also helps a guy out like Russell Westbrook, that gives them the spacing for him to be more effective. Now, it is fun sometimes to watch a small lineup out there play. Okay, it's fun, but I just can't see this team being successful. A lot of people trying to run that Golden State Warriors blueprint, right? They think that a team can shoot its way to a title, and that's just not how it really works. Like those Warriors teams, even before they got Kevin Durant, 2015, 2016. What I remember about those Warriors teams was that they had an awesome fucking bench. All right, just an awesome bench full of players that could actually be starters. You know what I'm saying? Like they had guys that could actually be starters coming off of the bench. And the difference between Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Harden and Westbrook is that those guys are pure shooters. They're pure shooters, but they still was part of a team that had balanced scoring. In 2015, I want to say Curry might have averaged 22 that season or something like that, 22, 23. Klay might have averaged 21, 22. It was pretty balanced. Now, 2016, Curry did go over 30. Klay probably still at Klay was pretty much still probably like at 22 points or something like that. But still, more or less overall, they had scoring contributions from other guys, and that also was incidentally Draymond Green's best season in the NBA as far as shooting the basketball. Um, the Rockets, they have to rely too much on these two guys. And plus, these guys, especially Russell, are not pure shooters. Harden can shoot the three, but he's still not, to me, a pure shooter. Like, he shoots sort of like close to the league average, 36% or so from three. He's probably shooting like 35, 36% from three this year, which is good, but it pales in comparison to Klay, who I think for his career is like a 42% three-point shooter. Curry is a 43, 44% career three-point shooter. Just phenomenal shooting from outside. Russell, as we know, cannot really shoot. Russell's a volume scorer. He's more of a mid-range scorer. He's he tends to rely more on his athleticism more than anything else to be effective. And the thing about this team is that, you're going to have to hope that during the playoffs, two guys that combine shoot about 44% from the floor, you have to hope that during the entire playoffs that they shoot close to 50%, which isn't going to happen. When you look at James Harden's track record and Russ, and I'm a fan of Russ, but I gotta be honest, Russ is too. When you look at their track record in the playoffs, they don't shoot very well. Russell Westbrook in that first round series against Portland, and Portland is by far not, uh, you know, the Clippers or the Bucks or the Lakers. I think Russ shot like 30-something% from the floor in that series. James Harden, while he put up the points last year going into the second round of playoffs, he put up the points. Uh, he put up the points, but he faded down the stretch in certain aspects of the game. You know, turnovers, four quarters, he faded. The stuff that we tend to see and unfortunately tend to expect from James Harden in the circumstances. I just don't see this team. I just don't see the Rockets the way that they are making some magical run in the playoffs behind these guys. Eric Gordon, if they're going to have any shot at upsetting some teams in the playoffs, Eric Gordon is going to have to be that X factor. Eric Gordon is going to have some type of phenomenal run himself. He's going to have to average, I don't know, off the top of my head, well over 15 points per game, 16, 17 points per game for them to really have some shot at making it to an NBA Finals of sorts. I just don't see it. Another thing that you got to worry about, too, is, like I said, there's going to be nights when this team's going to shoot like shit because you got volume scorers, guys that rely on the three so much. So the defensive aspect is going to have to kick in. These guys are going to have to be able to prevent other teams from going off on them offensively themselves. And I just don't see that. And also, another thing that has to be mentioned is the battle in the trenches. When you trade away a guy like Clint Capella, the Rockets are very vulnerable to being out-rebounded. And when you look at the Lakers, and now even the Clippers, and virtually every other team they play, they pose the risk of being out-rebounded. One of the teams that come to mind that the Bulls beat in the playoffs and finals were the Phoenix Suns. Outside of Charles Barkley, I think who averaged 13 rebounds per game in the 93 finals, Mark West only averaged like 3 or 4 rebounds. Oliver Miller probably only averaged like 3 or 4 rebounds himself. At the center position, they were kind of weak, right? And when you look at the Bulls in that series, aside from the fact that Jordan averaged 41 points per game, right, which is far above his career 33 points per game playoff scoring average, Michael for his career he averaged about 6 rebounds per game for his career. But in that series, Michael averaged 8.5 rebounds per game. Scottie Pippen for his career averaged about 6.5 rebounds, I guess. Maybe close to 7. In that series, Scottie Pippen averaged, I think, over 9 rebounds per game. All right. Horace Grant usually averaged about 9 to 10 rebounds. I think in that series, Horace Grant averaged 10 or 11 rebounds per game. And that was a key for the Bulls winning that series. I don't know if they won the rebounding battle, but I don't think the Suns won it either. It might have been a stalemate, but rebounding matters still in basketball. It used to really matter more so before the three-point shot kind of offset things, but rebounding still matters. Rebounding gives you extra possessions. If you miss shots, you get another possession to make up for that. So rebounding still matters. That's going to hurt the Houston Rockets down the stretch. And, plus, got to blame the guy Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni is a very stubborn person. He won't adapt. He consistently gets outcoached in series. I just don't see this Rockets team. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, I can actually see this Rockets team getting upset in the first round, if you want to call it an upset. I can see this team actually losing in the first round. And then if that happens, I'm going to be off of YouTube for fucking 3-4 days because everybody's going to be killing the fucking Rockets and Russ. You know, I don't want to hear it. But it is what it is, man. You have to be realistic, man. I love Russell Westbrook, but the best case scenario for Russ, and don't get me wrong, Russ has tried to adjust his game for the betterment of the team. He's taking less three-pointers. You know what I'm saying? Russ is a lot more effective when they're pushing the pace, pushing the tempo. He's more dangerous that way. His shot selection is a lot better. James Harden has scaled it back tremendously. He's playing more within the team concept. So they're doing the right things on their part. But Mike D'Antoni deserves a lot more blame for what's going on with the Rockets. His system doesn't work. It didn't work with the Phoenix Suns. It didn't work in his abbreviated stays with the Knicks, I think, which was disastrous. It didn't work with the Lakers, which was disastrous. All right. He's only gotten as far as he's gotten with the Rockets because he's had actually some good teams in place for him, but his system ultimately doesn't fucking work. If this was, I'm going to tell you something. In 2018, when that Rockets team won 65 games, if Kevin McHale was still the coach of that team, there's no fucking way in hell that the Rockets would have lost that game 7. There's no way they would have missed 27 consecutive threes because they wouldn't have shot 27 consecutive threes. They would have gotten away from shooting that shot. But it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think.